In honor of Canada Day, I only used Canadian makeup for this look. If you want to hear more, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène with another video, and yes, it is Canada Day. To all my fellow Canadians watching today, I wish you the best Canada Day possible. It is going to be gorgeous weather in a great number of places in Canada, and I do hope that you will be out and about with friends, family, strangers, whoever, as long as you're celebrating and having a good time. Plus, it's a long weekend. How much better could that be, right? And of course, in honor of that, I am making sure to sport the Canadian flag, yes, and also to sport nothing but Canadian makeup. Now my fingers might be nice and painted for Canada Day, but these are not Canadian nail polishes, so my bad on that. But as far as everything on my face, absolutely. And I really thought about doing a kind of get ready with me with all those makeup products, but the problem is that I have a surprise get ready with me tomorrow that I think you will absolutely love. I won't say more about it. Let's just say it's a collab with a fantastic person, so please take a look at the video tomorrow. I don't think you'll be wasting your time. But let's go back to the Canadian makeup, and like I said, I'm really excited to talk about these products, and I really think the look today came out perfect. So really happy to start talking. So all right, instead of yapping some more, let me get right into the products, which I have right next to me here. And we are going to start from beginning to end with steps in application. And if I had at my disposal a couple of different options, I'm going to talk a little bit about the brand that I didn't use, because what I decided to do was use brands that I feature the least, or products from brands that I feature the least on this channel, so that other products and other brands could have a chance, a little bit of time in the sun, so to speak. But I don't want to not mention brands that I really like and that I use on a regular basis. By no means is this all my Canadian makeup, but it's a good swath of it, if you will. For primer, I did not have a Canadian primer, so I ended up using the Step 1 Skin Equalizer by Makeup Forever. I won't talk about it anymore. I just wanted to let you know what I had as a primer today. And on top of that primer, I ended up using, I was debating between going all cream or mostly powder with Cover FX, and I just decided powder because, with Canadian brands I should say, I decided powder because I don't feature those that much on the channel. And what I used today is the Cover FX Mineral, I think, Pressed Mineral Foundation. And I have it in N30 if you're curious. And this is what it looks like. I used it dry, so didn't wet it or anything, but I did use the applicator that comes with the mineral foundation, and I think it did a really good job. I hope you agree. When I used it, I thought, why don't I use this more? Because it's so easy to put on. It's ridiculously easy. So the only thing I think I would have done differently is I might have used a like the Hourglass veil or something on my under eye, because I think that ended up being a little bit dry. And actually, Cover FX has a very nice finely milled powder, and I probably should have used that under my eyes, but I didn't. And speaking of what I didn't do under my eyes, as I was applying this, which is the NYX CW02 HD Studio Photogenic Concealer, as I'm applying it, I'm going, no, I have something from Cover FX that I can use under my eye, but I was a little bit too late. So this is what I have on my under eye, but let me show you what I could have used. This is a little quad that was featured recently in my makeup collection palette roulette, and it is a set of 4 cream products, and I used a few of them today. Now what I could have used under my eye is this one right here, and it would have done, oh pardon me, the viewfinder messes me up. This one right here, it's a matte cream product, and that works just fine on the under eye. And then I ended up using this one around my nose and also for my eyelid primer. These are really great. I also used this one right here on as my underlay for the brow bone highlight, and then I used another product over top. So this is a really good little kit, and if you are using liquid foundation and not powder foundation, I think that this is a really good way to go. And as you heard, it can be used in a number of ways. Once I had my foundation on, and of course the concealer underneath, I decided to go into further powder products, and one of the companies that I use for that is Quo. And you'll see Quo show up a few times, one for powder products and also for eyebrow products. So the palette for powder products for contour is this one, and it is called the Bombshell Contour Palette. And it comes with a great mirror, and it comes with 3 products. So sculpting powder, a matte highlighter, and a bronzer as well. So what I did was I used the sculpting powder on under my cheekbone here so that I could accentuate the sides of my face. I also used it on my temples. Then I went afterwards with this one to accentuate the bronze on each side, and then my temples again. When the sculpting powder is the only thing I used around my nose and under my lower lip to just give it a little bit more emphasis. And I was reminded how good this powder is just by using it today. I also used this powder, this matte highlight, as the base for my eye look today to set my primer, which was that Cover FX medium beige color. Very, very nice palette, and the packaging is so sturdy. Whenever I decide to take it with me, either just because I'm going to be out and about all day or for travel, it never ever fails. It's got good weight, and it just feels like the powders in here are very secure, so I really quite like it. And it does give the Smashbox contour palette a run for its money. So it's a very good product, and there's a lot of product in it. There's the contour powder and the bronzer both have 7 grams, and the highlighter has 3.6. So for a palette, this is not bad. And you will notice some shine on my cheekbone as well, and I went over the bronzer with another bronzer, and this is a mega bronzer from Marcel, which is a Canadian brand produced in Canada. And it comes with a big mirror, and look at the size of this bronzer. And what I really like about the bronzer, do you see the gradient effect? You can go deeper, you can go lighter, and all of the bronzer has this kind of a shiny look to it. I'm just gonna go right in the middle here. So over top another bronzer, it acts like a highlight, and I really, really like it. Do you see the reflection there? I think it looks really nice, and I'm impressed with what it has done for my cheeks today. As a matter of fact, I'm not wearing a blush today. This was enough. There was the bronzer and then another kind of illuminating bronzer over top, and I was really happy with it. Now let's talk brows for a moment. I used 2 different Canadian products, and I have a caveat. So first off, I used another Quo product, and this is, I have talked about this palette quite a bit on this channel, and it's called the Brow Palette. And it looks like this. Again, Quo is a Canadian brand. It has a mirror and 3 pans. A dual color pan which is powder for the brows, a brow highlighter, which I use a lot. I just didn't, oh, actually, I layered, no, what did I do? No, I did not use this one, but usually I use this one as my brow bone highlighter if the palette I'm using doesn't have an obvious choice. And then this one down here is a wax that I just refilled today using the Sephora name brand colored waxes, and I don't know if you can tell, there are 2 different colors of wax in here, but I refilled it because the other 2 pans I'm not going to have used up for a really long time, And I'm not going to buy brow wax if I already have it, so I used the Sephora brow wax to refill this pan, and I'm really happy because I can use this palette again. It is my go-to palette for travel. I don't even think about it. And for everyday use, sometimes I find that it's hard for me to resist just grabbing for this palette because I know that my brows will look good, and I'm pretty happy with them today. They're definitely on the Brooke Shields side, but I like them. And I also finished up with a product that I received for free during a Shoppers Drug Mart purchase. If you want to see that video, I'll put it right here. So it was a number of products carried by Shoppers Drug Mart, and this is from a Canadian brand that I very much love, and it is the Annabelle Canadian brand. And this is what it looks like. This is the color. And I used it sparingly. I used it to enhance areas of my brow that tends to be sparse, that the brow powder and brow wax just don't seem to do the trick enough. So I just went a little bit here and there. Is it a necessity? No, but I really like the way, two things about this product. It is extremely creamy, and it's an always sharp pencil. So because I'm trying to do little hair strokes, I'm trying to be precise, this is fantastic, where other things that I use may not be as precise. So I really, really enjoyed that. It is time to talk eyes. Now, I mentioned that I had used the Cover FX cream for the brow highlight, and it was in the highlight color or shade Moonlight? Either Moonlight or Moonstone. It's Moonlight. And I also used a shadow from a palette that I received or purchased during the holiday season from MAC. And MAC is a brand that was originated in Canada, in Toronto, or Toronto if you're from Toronto. And this is the one that I used to go just over Moonlight because it has some shimmer itself, but it's not quite as powerful as Moonlight, so it just kind of toned it down a little bit, and I think it looked good, or looks good. Why am I using past tense? And speaking of brands, the other brands that I can feature, I just want to give an honorable mention to the Lise Wattier brand, and this is, I'm using it upside down, this is a quint that I have featured on this channel. Actually, I'll put the video here if you'd like to see it. It is a very nice, simple quint that comes with instructions on where you can wear each one of the shadows for a very flattering look, depending on the shape of your eye. I decided to follow it, and then I also did on my own another look. I appreciate this brand. It is a luxe brand, and the component itself is really well done. And as much as people like to poo-poo compacts like this, it's a full mirror for the full size of the compact. And one thing I don't dislike is, I don't know if you can see them, there's a set of brushes with different applicator types. So we've got, just take them out. We have a sponge applicator and a brush type on one side, and two different sizes of brush applicator on the other side. And we can poo-poo it all we want, but this is really convenient if you're going to be away for an extended period of time and you don't want to lug a bunch of stuff around for your eye look. This allows you to have the precision to get your inner lid back on point, to maybe deepen up again along the lower or upper lash line with the deeper color of eyeshadow. I really appreciate these quads and the quality of the shadows. They are not the most pigmented available, but if you are looking for a really classy look, Lise Wattier is really going to give you a nice look. And this quint has basically convinced me that I am going to be looking to get a full-size palette from Lise Wattier at some point in the future. The next brand that I used is Clionadh Cosmetics, and I used a few shadows. This is in a color green palette, but magnetic palette, but this is the most of the, well, all of, but with a few other colors. This is mostly the Harvest Moon collection from Clionadh Cosmetics, and that yellow is to die for, isn't it? I ended up using a couple of shadows from this palette. I stand corrected. I'm looking at it. I used one. I was going to use two, but I used one. I used this nice matte brown called Toasted, I think. Toasty or Toasted? Toasty. Toasty. And it is for face and eyes. And I really enjoyed using it. It's a powdery matte, but it just blends beautifully. And I really enjoyed using it. And I was going to use this other one here, Parchment, but it does draw quite a bit. I'm just going to make sure I've got the name right. Parchment? Yeah, Parchment. It does draw a little bit more yellow than I wanted for this look, so I decided not to use it. But these shadows are really, really nice. And they also have these two quads of what they call aftershock shadows that really pack a punch. And I wanted to, like I said, show products that I don't often show that are Canadian products on this channel. But this is a kind of product right here, the aftershock shadows, that I tend to show a lot. I hope you see that lime green. It makes your inner lid just pop, and there are 8 different colors of these aftershock shadows. They're absolutely fabulous. If I were not trying to showcase a bunch of Canadian brands, I can tell you absolutely that after using this toasty color, I would have gone right in here to do the inner to center lid. But I have another product to show you actually 2 products to show you that I used instead for, what am I saying? 3 products to show you that I used for the inner to center lid. First off, I went back to that one shadow in the MAC palette. And I think the name of this palette is Shiny Pretty Things. The sticker I took off the back because it was irritating me, but I think it's Shiny Pretty Things something. Anyway, it was limited edition during the holidays and it's not available anymore, but it's also not very good. It's just one of the only MAC things I have, and I understand that MAC has a ton of amazing products. This just isn't one of them. But at least I knew I could use this color, and I did end up using this one as well, now that I remember. So I used this one and this one as part of this eye look. And this kind of taupey brown was the first color I used before I went into Parchment. So on the inner lid, I ended up using that very light beige color as a base for the product I'm about to show you next. I wanted to make sure that the inner lid was not too dark for what I was going to put on top. And as you can see on top, I have a very bright, sparkly topper. And this topper is from Cover FX. Cover FX has, you can really go either way with Cover FX. You can go all powder, you can go all liquid and cream products. And this one is a liquid product. And it is beautiful on the skin. And I think it's holding up quite nicely. For some reason, some people don't like these. I like them just as much as the Stila glitters and shimmer and glows. So I think this looks really good. It's very, very shiny. And I have it right here. Of course, it's going to look very similar to my eyes because this is the same one. I think there are 7 of these if I'm not mistaken, but this one is called Soleil, and that is indeed the one I'm wearing today. I really, really like the look. I think it's a little bit toned down from an all-out glitter, but it certainly packs a punch, and we're automatically attracted to that part of the eye, and I think that looks pretty good. Now, another part of my inner eye, which is the inner corner, I ended up using this one, Lilith, from Nude Sticks. And Nude Sticks is another Canadian brand. I'm just going to put some right here. Actually, I'll put it right next to Soleil, because hopefully you'll be able to tell where on my eye this is. So there is the Nude Sticks. Hopefully the color's coming through, I'm hoping. There's the Nude Sticks, and there's Soleil right underneath. And I have it just on the very, very inner corner. I hope you can see it. Maybe I'll put a little bit more right on the inner corner of my eye on both sides. And I just thought it just, before I put it on and as soon as I put it on, it's subtle, but it just really opened up the inner eye and made it kind of come forward, and I liked the effect. So of course I kept it, and they tend to dry down not too bad, and nothing more to say. I really like it. And since we're on nude sticks, I want to show you what it is that I have on my lips, because I do have a nude sticks product on my lips, and it is the Purity lipstick, and it's a lip crayon, very much like the other one that I showed you. The other one I showed you, those are cream to powder, basically eyelid colors that you can use as a base or on their own, and then they have these matte lipsticks. They're so creamy. They're so nice. And I decided to go a little bit deeper. I have lighter colors, but this is the one I chose to use today. And I think it's very flattering. I think it goes with the eye look, so I'm pretty happy with it. Now we are going to talk about how I finished the rest of my eye look. First off, if you've been watching this channel, you know I am a big fan of the upper waterline being completely filled. And today I used for the first time this Marcel hypoallergenic eyeliner, kohl eyeliner, and it is waterproof and it is supposed to last for 8 hours. It's very creamy. There it is right there. And I used it on the upper waterline, but I do want to mention that it does transfer, although most of it stayed on the upper waterline. And then, so what I would say is if you want to use this or a similar kohl liner, then you would want to do the upper waterline first before doing your lower lash line. And that way, with whichever pencil you're using on your lower lash line, you can essentially erase away whatever transferred from the top. I don't have a big issue with that, so I am definitely happy with it, and I was happy as well with how gentle it was on my eye. It was not stiff, it did not tug, it was very smooth, which is probably why it transferred to a certain extent, but I don't think that it is a problem. I'm pretty happy with what it looks like. But again, if you don't like any sort of black on the lower lash line, you may not like this liner. And then I used the brown Annabelle liner on my lower lash line and waterline. And it is this one underneath. So black, the Marcel black on top and the Annabelle brown liner on the bottom. And I have talked about the Annabelle waterproof liners on this channel a lot, so I wanted to give a little bit of love to the Marcel brand because I haven't really talked about it. Marcel has a bunch of different products. They are made in Canada, and I am vowing to discover and really pour into my attention into the Marcel brand in 2020. I am limiting my purchases this year, as I've talked about it before. I'm on a no-buy and really trying to be good. And so the idea of exploring fully another brand, it doesn't make sense because I have a lot of other products. So it will be waiting, but I will get to it. Speaking of another Canadian product that I just talked about, the Lise Watier Quint. Well, this is the Lise Watier V-Element Volcanic Minerals Mascara. And this is a mascara, or the mascara I have on my upper lashes. And I put 2 coats, and I think you will agree that my lashes are looking pretty long. So 2 coats. I didn't find that the volume was huge, but the length is really, really nice. And I have had it on for a while now, and my lashes are not drooping. So I'm pretty happy with this one. And on my lower lashes, I am wearing the Skinny. I don't know if you can even read it. It says Skinny on all around the tube. Mascara from Annabelle. And it is really a tiny wand, and it's been really nice to use on my lower lashes. I do have to pull a little bit off on my lower lashes because my lower lashes are clownishly long, but I think that you will agree that it does a good job of defining them. So it doesn't clump up, it really keeps them separate and very clearly defined, because I don't think everybody wants to do their makeup whichever. I would just say for the majority of us, we wouldn't want to have a totally clumped up lower lash line. If anything, when we want the volume and the extra oomph, it's usually mostly for the upper lashes. So I really enjoy the skinny. Though I am thinking I should really try this on my upper lashes, and for some reason I just never do. And I thought maybe I would do it today, but no, because I really wanted to try this one. Since we talked lipstick and I did not use this brand, I do want to give it a shout out, and this is the Bite Beauty lipstick line. Bite Beauty is known for its natural ingredients, and so I do want to mention this brand, and I have 4 products here to show you. This first one is called, it is an amuse-bouche liquefied lip. Amuse-bouche liquefied lip. And it's a very liquid lip. It does tend to run, so if you do find that lipstick goes into your fine lines, you probably want to use a liner with this. But it is a very nice product, and if you're curious, the one I have here is in the color Chai, and this is what it looks like right here, although it hasn't kind of had a chance to dry down a little bit. They don't dry down fully. I'm not saying that it's a liquid lipstick. It's just a liquefied lipstick, and it does remain glossy and very, very creamy, but it doesn't stay quite as liquidy as when you first apply it. The next one here that I have is a matte cream lip crayon, and this one is in Leche, and they look like this. And these are more of a crayon type than the previous one, the amuse-bouche that I just showed you. And this is a very light color, so it's only when I'm wearing a very light kind of look of makeup look, or I have really dramatic eyes and I almost want a nudie pink lip. This might be what I would use. And I just wanted to show you a Bite Beauty lip pencil. This is an 034. They don't have names for the lip pencil specifically, but this is a mini. The full size is the same diameter, but it is of course longer. It's about twice as long as this. And I just like the way the pencils are made, and they've been on sale for a while, and I'm a little worried that they're getting rid of their pencils. But this is the color here for number 34. Hopefully you can see. It's not focusing. Maybe that's a bit better. Anyway, hopefully it ended up sort of focusing for you. Finally, I wanted to talk about these little guys. Whenever they come in sets, and they come in sets very often around the holidays, I jump on these. And they have duos and whatnot throughout the year. This one is Nori, and I picked it out because it's a nice deep red. And it is called an amuse-bouche lipstick. And I love the color. I'm going to go on the other side. It's a deep kind of raisin brown. Look at that color, right? Nori. And they are super, super comfortable on the lips. And I can tell you, having had the Nude Sticks lipstick on, the lip crayon on for a good hour and a half now, they're very, very comfortable. And I have no issues recommending them for people who don't like to have very dry feeling lips. I think I've covered my face pretty much with all these products, plus more that I wanted to mention. And I do want to talk about the last product that I used, and it is the Cover FX High Performance Setting Spray. And here's the cool part about this setting spray, and I don't know if every one of the bottles sprays the same, but I would suspect so because they all look the same on at least the Sephora site, for example. Here's the thing. This sprayer mists like the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, or Setting Mist, I should say, but without it being a pressurized container, and that impresses me so much. Just going to shake it. You'll hear there's a ball in there. It's a good thing to shake this sprayer. But the mist is fantastic, so hopefully you'll be able to see it on camera. It's a really, really fine, good mist, and very much like the continuous setting mist. This one is a tiny bit bigger droplets, but it's so gently ends up on your face that you don't have these kind of shiny spots all over your face when you're doing the spray. The only thing is, if you haven't shaken it properly or you haven't used it in a while and the sprayer head got a little gummed up, the first spray may have some of the bigger droplets. So if you're not sure, if you're not sure, you haven't used it in a while, just do your first spray before you go and expect to have that really nice light mist. I used it earlier today, so I knew that it was going to work quite nicely, but these are pump sprayers. And another thing I like compared to the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist is you know how much you have left. With the pressurized container, you never know when you're running out. It's really hard to tell. If you want to know more about setting sprays, I do have a battle of the brands that you can take a look at to see how I rank them. I tried a dozen of them, and you might find it informative. So that wraps up my full face of Canadian products and my feature of a bunch of Canadian brands here today in honor of Canada Day. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you discovered something you may not have known about a brand I featured, or maybe you discovered a brand altogether. I hope one or both are true. And if you have any questions on Canadian brands, or if you have any questions about the products I featured, please leave me a comment down below. I will do my best to respond quickly. And other than that, I am going to wish you yet again a fantastic Canada Day. And for my US friends, just wait a couple of days and you'll have your 4th of July. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.